Hello all, able to hear me everyone?
Yes.
Able to hear me, right?
Yeah.
Fine. So we are starting the session. So as I said, today we are starting integration of FI with MM and SD. Okay. So before we start off, any questions, any doubts from the previous session, or any topic that you did not understand? Okay, do let me know if you have any. And I will be updating all the session topic names as well.
Lavanya, the tax part, we will take it at the time of MM and SD.
Only. But tax does not include any vertex system. Okay, the tax postings. Okay, what tax postings will be happening during the purchase and sale? Those. Okay.
Correct. Those that you are going to take it at the time of this integration.
Yeah, of course, at the time of integration,
Yeah.
Invoice posting, we will be seeing the tax posting.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm already sharing my screen. Everybody should be able to see my screen now. So today's topic is integration. Integration of FI with MM first, and then we are going to see SD as well. Okay. So both integrations we will be seeing one by one. Integration of FI with MM first. So please remember, when you attend any interview, mostly half of the interview will be on this integration only. Okay. So it is not that, learning FI and controlling is enough. Okay. You need to learn integration as well, apart from FI and CO. Okay. So fine. Let us see. In integration of FI with MM, you need to remember few important concepts. Okay. Now let us see what those concepts you need to remember. The first is concept about the movement type. Now, what do you mean by a movement type? In integration, both FI with MM and FI with SD, if you see, the postings, the FI postings will be done automatically. In integration, FI postings are done automatically, both MM integration as well as SD integration. In both, you will be able to see that the FI postings, the accounting documents are getting generated automatically. Okay, postings are done automatically. Okay, so in order to create the accounting documents automatically, what is the configuration behind it, that we will be seeing, okay, as a part of integration. So what is triggering those automatic postings? It is the movement type. Movement type triggers automatic postings in integration. How it is triggering, that we will be seeing in the configuration, we will be seeing. So movement type is the one which is triggering the automatic postings. So this triggers automatic postings in integration. All right. So this is about the movement type. Now, movement types are created only by MM consultant. Already standard movement types, so many are there. Okay, just like the document types, OBA7. Already so many are there, standard provided. But if you want, you can also create on your own. Okay. So that way, movement types, so many movement types are there. Okay, but if consultant wants, he can also create a new one. So these are created only by consultants, never by FI at all. Okay. So why do we need to learn? Because it is integrated with FI, right? So that's the reason why we need to know. Now, what are the movement types that we usually come across? Those are 101. This is material receipt against PO. PO means you can take a production order or a purchase order, both. So 101 movement type you will be coming across when material is received against a purchase order or production order. Next, 102 is reversal of 101. Next, 201 is issue to cost center. What do you mean by a cost center? Cost center is a cost object which we will be learning what it is in controlling module. Okay, so once we start controlling module, we will be seeing what it is. Now next, after issue to cost center 201, 202, which is nothing but reversal of 201. Next, 261 is what? Issue to order. So this order is nothing but internal order, which is again a cost object. Order here means it is an internal order, which is again a cost object. Cost object means part of controlling. So when we start controlling, we will be seeing what this is. Okay. Now next is again 262, which is reversal of 261. All right. Now next is 521. 521 is material receipt without PO. So this was against a PO. That means with PO, and this is without a PO. Okay. So 522 is reversal of 521. And next is 561. Opening stocks taking. Stocks taking. 562 again reversal of 561. And the last one is 601, which is delivery of goods to customer. Which goods? Obviously the finished goods only. Okay. Now then 602 is what? Reversal. Reversal of 601. So these many we will be coming across in our syllabus. Okay. Apart from these, so many other standard movement types are also there based on the processes. So now these are the ones which we will be discussing as a part of our syllabus. Okay, so all these you need to by heart. Okay, though we directly do not use, okay, because these are triggering the automatic postings. You need to remember this. Okay, fine. Now what next? Next is, so this is concept about the movement type. Movement type triggers the automatic postings in integration. Now what next? Next is another important concept called process key, which is also called transaction key, which is also called account key. All these three are the same. So have you ever come across any process key or any transaction key or any account key so far in the four modules we saw in GL, bank accounting, AP and AR? Many times we came across. Okay, let us see where we came across. We have done the account determination almost, many processes we did the account determination. Okay, so in the account determination, if you see, you will be able to see the transaction key, which is identifying, which is determining the GL account to be posted. Okay, so now let us see where we came across. Take any automatic account determination. So far we discussed. Suppose I am taking OB53, which is the retained earnings account. See, transaction key. This is the transaction key. Now we would have seen the cash discounts transaction key, cash discount received. Okay, so in all the automatic account determinations, you will say, how does SAP know that, even though we are assigning a GL account here, how does SAP know that this particular GL account has to be posted automatically? We saw that, this cash discount GL account has been posted automatically, right, while making the payments. Okay, so how does SAP know that only this GL account has to be triggered when the payment was made, when we are getting the discounts? It is with the help of the transaction key. Okay, so we are assigning to the transaction key this particular GL account, whatever is there, which we are assigning here, is been assigned to the transaction key. That is how SAP knows that this particular GL account has to be triggered, okay, during this kind of posting. So similarly, same is the concept here also. Okay, even in case of integration, account key, transaction key, or the process key, okay, whatever it is helping in the automatic account determination, the same concept. Okay. So what is this transaction key or account key or process key doing? It is helping in automatic account determination. So automatic account determination is being done with the help of this transaction key or account key. Okay, now yes, tell me, any question? Okay, so in any automatic account determination, you will be able to see this concept of transaction key. You need not remember the transaction keys for all the processes which we discussed so far in other modules, but in integration, we need to remember. Okay, in integration and also in tax, we need to remember the process keys. Okay, now what process keys or what transaction keys we will be coming across? Again, these are predefined. Okay, we need not define by ourselves in real time because these are predefined. We are very much using the standard ones only. Okay, now these are purely FI because any GL account you are assigning in an automatic account determination, okay, which you are assigning against the transaction key or account key, is definitely FI related, okay, because the account determination is being done, right? Okay, so let us start. Okay, what is that we will be discussing? BSX, which is inventory postings. BSX is inventory postings. Next is WRX, GRIR, clearing, PRD, price differences or cost differences. GBB, offsetting entry for inventory postings. Offsetting entry means what? The balancing entry. If you take any any accounting document, if you see any accounting document, if you take, one debit item is there, one balancing credit item will also be there. A minimum of one debit, a minimum of one credit will be there, and this debit will be equal to credit amount with a different sign, so that the entire accounting document becomes zero. Okay, so that is one of the rules in accounting, right? So GBB means what? The account which is balancing the inventory postings, and inventory postings is what? BSX. So that means GBB will be there in order to balance BSX. Okay, fine. So under GBB, you will be having so many other modifications. Okay, now let us see what those are. All these we will be using. So all these are under GBB. Okay, so I will be giving some gap here. VBR is raw material consumption. VNG, scrapping. BSA, opening stocks taking. AUF, production receipt against PO. Okay, production order, purchase order. ZOF, production receipt without. Without, okay? That means opposite to AUF. VAY, delivery where, delivery means delivery of finished goods. Delivery where sales account is revenue element. What is revenue element? I will be telling you. VAX means, again take this entire thing, is not a revenue element. Okay, so these are the process keys that you need to remember. All these in real time we will be coming across. All these are the basic ones only. Okay, next, one more concept. Valuation class. Valuation class. Valuation class also determine the GL accounts to be posted automatically. That means function is same as the process keys. When the function is the same, then what is the difference between process keys and the valuation class? Valuation classes are assigned against the transaction keys, and then the GL accounts will be assigned. Okay, you give the valuation class, against that valuation class you give the process keys, against that process key you assign the GL accounts. Okay, so that's the reason why these also determine GL accounts to be posted automatically.
Hello, Lavanya, sorry to interrupt you.
Please tell me, louder please, a bit louder.
I can't hear you.
You cannot hear me?
Hello.
How about others? How about
Your voice is
Jaykumar,
not clear, Lavanya.
Santosh?
I can hear you, Lavanya.
Santosh, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Yeah, I am also able to hear you.
Okay. Sujata, whosoever is not able to hear me, please log off and log in again. No? Others are able to hear me, it seems.
Okay. I do.
Okay. Please log off and log in. Okay. So valuation class function is also the same. Okay. We will be assigning valuation class against the process keys, and then we will be giving the GL accounts. Okay. So next, so this is about the concept of valuation class. Again, all these standard valuation classes only we are copying and we will be using. Even in real time also, we copy the existing standard to create a new valuation class. Okay, so we copy and we create a new one. So usually these valuation classes are created based on the nature of the material. Say you have the raw material, you have the finished goods, you have the semi-finished goods, and so on. Okay, so raw material is there. Raw material, see, in order to produce a unit of finished goods, suppose I'm using two types of raw materials. Okay, so raw material 1 and raw material 2. Now, for these two raw materials, if you want, you can create a single GL account and assign. So when only single GL account is there, obviously you are using a single valuation class. Otherwise, suppose those two raw materials are entirely different from each other and I do not want to post both of them in the same GL account. I would want to do the accounting differently. So one raw material postings in one GL account, another raw material postings in another GL account I want. In those cases, you will be creating two different valuation classes. Okay, raw material 1, one valuation class, raw material 2, another valuation class. Okay, so it depends on how you are doing accounting for the raw material or for finished goods or for any other goods. So normally this valuation class will be defined for the type of the material. Okay, for finished goods it is separate, for semi-finished goods it is separate, and for raw material it is separate. Okay, fine. So this is about the valuation classes. We will be seeing how to create all these in the coming topic. So this is about the concept of valuation class. And next concept is valuation string, which is also called a posting string. Valuation string or posting string, both are the same. Okay, now valuation string, posting string is acting as an intermediary between the movement types and the process keys. Movement types are entirely process keys are entirely FI. Okay, so between these two, it is acting as a bridge. That means it is connecting with integration. It is acting as a bridge between them. Okay. Between movement types and process keys. Okay. So this is acting as a bridge between the MM movement types and FI account keys. So all these, concepts are very important. Now we are done with the important concepts in integration. So yeah, before we go to the configuration, okay, so concepts is done. Now we will have to go to configuration. But before we go to configuration, you need to know one more thing, which is called the cycles. Okay. Integration of FI with MM is also called P2P cycle. P2P stands for purchase to pay or procure to pay. So these cycles you need to know before we start off configuration. So let us see. P2P cycle, which is also called MM flow. So P2P means what? Purchase to pay or procure to pay. Procure to pay or purchase to pay cycle. Now, let us see this cycle. So this cycle, if you see, suppose, this is about MM. MM means what? Material management. Material management is all about procuring the raw material. Procuring means you are buying it. So now in real time, who is buying? Suppose, I have a manufacturing concern. Okay, so material we need to buy. Raw material we need to buy so as to produce the finished goods. Fine. But how that requirement is coming for the procurement? Who is raising that requirement in order to buy that raw material? If you see this, if you see a manufacturing concern, production department is there who is directly involved in the production of finished goods. How they are producing the finished goods? By using the raw material. Okay, they use the raw material, they consume the raw material, and they produce the finished goods. Okay, raw material is used in the process of production, and then the finished goods are produced. So what if the raw material is over? Okay, raw material, all the quantities totally consumed by the production department. Okay, now they do not have anything in order to use in the production process. So who is directly using the raw material? Production department is directly using. So that's the reason why if any requirement is there for the raw material, who is raising? The production department is raising the requirement. Why? Because they are directly using, and whenever it is over, okay, whenever they need it, they will be raising the request in order to buy, in order to get this raw material. They won't ask you to buy. They will ask you saying that this raw material is required in production and it is over. They will not tell you to buy it. Okay, so now the document which is being raised by them for the raw material is called material requisition. Material requisition document. So what do you mean by this material requisition? It is a request for raw material. So who they are sending this document to? Purchase department is sending this document, material requisition, to stores department. Why they are sending to stores department? Because stores, which is also called warehouse, is a place where all the material is stored. So that's the reason. All the material means it could be raw material, it could be semi-finished, it could be finished also. So all the material is being stored over there. So these people, production people, send the material requisition document to stores. So production department to stores is also called warehouse. It is sent to stores or warehouse department. Now, stores person got this document, material requisition document. Material requisition document is just a document. No postings are done. No postings, no accounting document is generated from this. Okay? So, stores person is getting this particular document and he will be checking whether that particular material mentioned in the material requisition document is present in the stores or not. They will be checking this. If it is present, then fine, they will be sending to production department. If it is not present, then what are they doing? If it is not present, then they will be asking purchase department to buy this material because it is not there in the stores. Okay, now that document is called purchase requisition. Request to purchase. Purchase requisition means request to purchase. So who is sending to whom? Stores department is sending to purchase department. Okay. Now, purchase department got this document called purchase requisition. So in that document, what is there? The stores department is asking to buy this material. Fine. Now, what exactly is the material? What is the brand of the material? What is the make? What is the color, size, dimensions, everything? All these particulars they will be getting. Okay, because they need to buy exactly that material only, right? Okay, so all this they are getting. Now, once they get the exact material, all the particulars. If it is like if they have been buying this material for so long, they will be having specific vendors. Okay, if I'm buying a particular material for the past 10 years, I exactly know from whom I have to buy. Okay, I will be having some specific vendors. Otherwise, I will be checking with all vendors who are selling this particular material. Okay, so I will be sending an inquiry document to the vendors. I means here the purchase department. So purchase department is sending the inquiry document. Inquiry means what? In that document, they are mentioning this is the material that we want by so and so date. Okay, and these are the particulars of the material, like this is the brand we want, this is the dimensions, this is the size and all. Okay, so they will be mentioning all this, and this is called the inquiry document, which will be sent to the vendor. So far we have seen material requisition and purchase requisition. None of these documents is creating accounting document. So accounting document, no picture at all. Okay, because here no transaction has happened here. Okay, transaction has not happened. This is just they are getting information if they have it or not, if they have the material or not. That's it. Okay, it is just a request document if they have that particular material or not. Okay, now inquiry is also like that only. Inquiry document is nothing but, you're just inquiring with the third party vendor. Okay, so this will be sent by purchase to vendors. So it could be 2 vendors, 3 vendors, 4 vendors, any number of vendors. Okay, now next, vendors are getting these inquiry documents. Okay, and they are checking, okay, if they have that material. So if they have the material, what they are doing? They will be replying to your inquiry document, which is called quotation. Quotation. So what do you mean by a quotation? In the quotation document, they are mentioning, okay, we have, this material. Okay, this much of quantity we have, we can send by, these many days time, and these are the terms and conditions. This is the price. This is the tax component. We are sending this material through, how is that, they are sending to us. Okay, what is the mode of transport? Okay, so all these, okay, all the terms and condition, if any excise part is also involved, everything they are mentioning. So this is about the quotation document. So the purchase department is receiving the quotation document as a reply to the inquiry document they have sent to the vendors. So none of the documents, will be posting, none of the documents discussed so far. Yeah, tell me. Any question, anyone? So none of the documents discussed so far is posting an accounting document. So till now, no accounting document got posted. Okay, fine. So I got a quotation document. So purchase department got a quotation document. Now what is purchase department what is the purchase department doing? Purchase department has to do the price comparisons. What do you mean by price comparisons? If I would want to buy a material, okay, suppose if it is like costing 10,000 rupees, okay, I will be checking with other vendors also, okay, so that, I can get the quality material at the least price, okay, at least at the, price, when I compare the price, it should be lower, okay. So I will be comparing, okay, at least I will be checking with, 1 or 2 vendors or, 3 okay, how many ever I want, I will be checking in order to get at the lower price, and I'm making sure that I'm getting the branded material as well. Okay, so this way I'm doing the price comparisons. In big companies, these price comparisons, it is very important that they are hiring a separate person just for doing the price comparisons, because in the audit they need to mention why they have bought from this particular vendor only. Okay, so they need to justify. Okay, so price comparisons we will be doing, and when you do price comparisons, you will, you are arriving at one vendor, 1 or 2 vendors from whom you would want to buy the material. Okay, so after doing the price comparisons, you are placing a purchase order. You are placing a purchase order. Just give me a moment, everyone. Okay, sorry. So after doing all the price comparisons, the purchase department is placing the purchase order on that vendor, whosoever they have decided or they have arrived. Okay, so they are placing the purchase order. When a purchase order is placed, no accounting document gets posted. No accounting document when a purchase order is placed. Okay, it is just an order, that's it. Okay. So now this purchase document is created from the transaction code ME21N, ME21N. Now, after you place a purchase order, the vendor is sending the goods and also the material. Material he has to send, along with the material, the goods also, along with the material, the invoice also he has to send. Now, in most of the cases, the difference will be coming here. What is that? Suppose vendor is located just, in my locality only, very nearby me. Okay. So in those cases, whenever I'm placing a purchase order on him, what he will be doing? Because he is located nearby, he is sending the material. Okay, straight away he is sending the material. And invoice, he will have to prepare the invoice, okay, which might take some time. Okay, so invoice I'm getting later. I'm getting the goods first. He's sending the goods to me first. Okay, along with the goods, excise document will also come. First invoice we will be getting. First goods we are getting because he's located nearby and material is available with him, it seems. So he's sending the material first. And in order to prepare the invoice, suppose, he's taking half an hour time. So within that half an hour time, he has sent me the material. Okay. So material I'm receiving first and then the invoice later. Okay. So this scenario you will be able to see when the vendor is located nearby. Okay. Now the other scenario is vendor is located somewhere very, very far away or another state. In those cases, suppose I'm placing a purchase order on him. Whenever when I place a purchase order on him, because he is located very, very far away. Okay, so he would have transported the goods to me. Okay, but how long am I taking? How long the goods are taking to get delivered here? Suppose 1 day time, 2 days time. Okay, but invoice preparation, it is taking half an hour time. So after he is preparing the invoice, he can mail that invoice to me. The soft copy of the invoice he can mail to me, or he can fax me the invoice. But material, he need to send it, right? So for sending of the material, okay, he is taking 2 days time. It is taking 2 days time, in order to get the material to my store's location. So in this case, I am receiving the invoice first and the goods later. Okay, so it always depends upon the locality, or it could be even on the availability of the goods as well. Okay, sometimes even if the vendor is located very nearby, he might say that goods is available only from this point of time. Okay, so depending upon the scenario, it will be varying. But the ideal way of receiving is first you need to receive the goods first and then the invoice later. Why? Because once you receive the goods, you will come to know whether to accept those goods or not. What if you receive the invoice, you posted that invoice, then you got the goods, and then you came to know the goods is, damaged condition, or you would have asked for some brand, they have sent some other brand or some other reason. You do not want to accept the goods at all. Okay. So if you are getting the goods first, if you do not want to accept the goods there itself, you can do, and you need not even post the invoice. Okay. So this is the ideal way. So you need to post the material receipt first and then the invoice later. So material receipt, which is nothing but the raw material, obviously. Material receipt, which is also called goods receipt. Material receipt, goods receipt. It is done in MIGO transaction, MIGO transaction. Okay. So when MIGO is posted, accounting document gets generated. What should be the accounting document? What is the entries? What is the debit entry and what is the credit entry?
Lavanya,
Yeah, tell me.
I have one the query here. See, when we talk about GRN or a goods receipt, there are normally there would be a two transaction. One is related to that actual GRN, that is nothing but a goods receipt note, and another is that GRN costing. So both the departments both are different. One is the store
Actual
department.
GR and
That is that normally that store person, he will ensure that he will say that I accepted that material. And GRN costing, that once he confirmed that this material is received at their respective department, then based on that their confirmation, that finance department, they will do that GRN costing. That means costing, and that point of time there will be a financial entry will be generated.
No, what costing is it?
That is, see, what normally that store department will do, they will only enter that number of items or the goods which are received from a supplier.
Okay.
They will not mention any value. Suppose, see, whatever we raised in a purchase order where it is mentioned that 15,000 rupees is that the material, that a particular material amount. So that finance department or the respective some other person, they will confirm, because in big companies there will be a store department and then there will be a purchase department, both are different.
Obviously, but it won't be the same for each and every company. Even if you see, whenever we are getting the production receipt as well, it's some companies you post it to COGM. Okay, and the balancing entry will be COGS. Okay, some other companies COGS is not at all present. Increase or decrease in the stock of finished goods will be present.
Okay. Yeah, so correct. At the time of GRN, only the
company.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Even if you see product costing, the way we will be discussing here, in few projects it is not at all like done like that. Okay, it depends upon project to project. All companies won't be the same. Okay. So whichever way, I mean, we are discussing here, the same way you can also tell in the interviews. Okay. Fine. So the entry will be, you're receiving the raw material, right? So raw material inventory. Raw material inventory is debited. Why? Because see, you're getting the asset here. Raw material inventory is an asset. Any inventory is an asset. When asset is received, coming in, what will happen? The asset has to be debited. So raw material inventory is debited here. How much of amount? You need to mention the amount. And what has to be credited? See, so far, even in our AP module also, in vendor invoice, what was the posting we made so far? The inventory, the material inventory or the raw material, debit to vendor. Okay, we have credited the vendor in the invoice directly. Okay, but here Because we have not received any kind of invoice so far. Because we have received only the material and not the invoice so far, we are not crediting the vendor. Then what is that we are crediting? We are crediting the GRIR clearing account. This account is a clearing account. Any clearing account is an intermediary account wherein finally the balance should become zero. Any clearing account, if you see, finally the balance should become zero. Okay, so even GRIR clearing also is the same. Okay, it is a clearing account used for intermediary. Any clearing account is an intermediary GL account used for a while in between. Okay, intermediary means for a while or in between. Okay. So GRIR clearing account is credited, not the vendor account. Vendor is not made liable here. See, we are not liable for payment to the vendor here itself because we have not got the invoice only. When we get the invoice only, then we are supposed to make the, we are supposed to create that vendor as a liability. Okay, liability line item we are generating only when we receive the invoice. But so far, the invoice is not at all received. Now, so this posting will be an automatic posting in integration. This raw material inventory debit to GRIR clearing credit will be an automatic posting. System will be posting this automatically. Now, what is triggering this posting? Raw material inventory we have received against a purchase order we raised. We raised a purchase order here. So based on that purchase order only, we are getting the raw material. Just give me a moment, sorry. Sorry. So we have got this raw material against the purchase order that we raised on that vendor, right? So in this case, what has to be the movement type? Movement types we discussed, right? So movement type should be material we have received against a purchase order. So what is the movement type? 101. So the triggering movement type is 101 here. Triggering movement type is 101. So this transaction is called goods receipt or inventory receipt. Transaction code is MIGO. Now we discussed about the movement types. How about the transaction keys? The accounting entries, raw material, inventory. So transaction key will become which one? BSX, inventory posting. So it has to be BSX. Now, GRIR clearing transaction key is what? WRX. So the offset is WRX. Okay, so these things are very, very important and very much expected in the interview as well. Okay, now next. So we are done with MIGO, which is goods receipt. Now from here, from this transaction, this GRIR clearing becomes an open item. This is an intermediary clearing GL account, right? So obviously open item management is activated. And from this accounting entry, the GRIR clearing becomes an open item. Okay, done. Now we are waiting for the invoice. Now we receive the invoice. So invoice receipt. Invoice receipt. IR. Okay, so this is GR, goods receipt, and this is IR, invoice receipt. Transaction code is MIRO. GR is MIGO, IR is MIRO. Now here, we are receiving from this invoice from the vendor. So at this point of time only, we are posting on the vendor. That means vendor liability item will be created from here. Now what is the accounting entry? Again, the accounting entry is done automatically. No manual posting, only automatic posting you will be able to see here. Now what is the posting here? The posting will become like this. GRIR clearing, which is credited here, will be debited here. Okay, because see, the purpose of this intermediary GL account, GRIR clearing is what? We are waiting for the invoice. So once the invoice is received, the clearing accounts will be, they have to be closed. They have to be cleared and closed. Okay, so you know, we are receiving the invoice. So that's the reason why we would want to nullify this GRIR clearing. So we are debiting here. So debit, the GRIR clearing. Okay. And what is that you need to credit? You need to credit the vendor. So to vendor account. So here also GRIR clearing will become open item on the debit side. So this GRIR clearing open item credit side, this GRIR clearing on the debit side, both will be nullified as 0. The entire balance, if you see on GRIR clearing, it will become, I'm getting so many calls today. I do not, just give me a moment, sorry. Extremely sorry. Okay, fine. So here GRIR clearing became an open item when you receive the goods, because we are waiting for the invoice. And when we receive the invoice, we will have to nullify that GRIR clearing account. So again, we are posting to GRIR clearing as debit. So this credit on GRIR and this debit on GRIR will be nullified. The entire balance, if you say, will become 0. Okay. Now, but this is also an open item. This debit GRIR clearing is also an open item. So when the invoice is received, why this has to be kept an open item? It should not be. Of course, the amount is nullified, which is correct. But still, why it has to be an open item? It should not be. So that's the reason why you do vendor, you do GRIR clearing here. That is automatic clearing done from F.13. We have seen in auto logbox, right? Okay. The bank clearing GL accounts, how we have cleared from F.13. Okay. So we are using F.13 here also in order to do GRIR clearing. Next. Okay, so you received the invoice. Okay, now how this posting is made? This is obviously an automatic posting. Now remember one thing. We discussed movement types, right? Say movement on what? Movement on the material. So that means you will be able to see that movement type is coming into picture only when the material movement is involved. How can you say that material movement is involved? See, I got the raw material. That means material is moved in the raw material receipt transaction. Now let us see one more. Invoice receipt. In the invoice received, are we posting to the raw material here or any of the goods? Not at all. You are posting to vendor and the GRIR clearing. Okay, so no material is involved here. So when material itself is involved, you cannot say that it is movement type related one. You can say it is movement type related only when the material is moving. Okay, only when the material is moving. So in the invoice transaction, there is no movement type involved. Movement type is involved only when the material is moving. Okay, fine. So let us see how this posting is made. So obviously you know now that because there is no material involved in this transaction, no movement type. Now what is triggering this posting? The transaction keys. What transaction keys here? GRIR clearing is WRX. So this WRX. Okay. Not here, here. GRIR clearing, WRX. And vendor, how that vendor is coming? Not through the account key. Okay, we are giving the vendor. We give the vendor master data. See how any vendor is posted, any subledger. Vendor is subledger, right? Vendor, customer, these are subledgers. You cannot give a GL account. You will have to give the master data. From the master data, the reconciliation account will be picked up. And then the reconciliation account will be updated. Okay, not directly. So same here also. Okay, you are posting to the vendor on the vendor master. Okay, fine. Now what next? So vendor you give directly, no account key is involved. Next. Now next. Okay, so I received material, I received invoice as well. Now what next? Next is
Lavanya, in invoice receipt, what is the transaction?
No, I'm not getting you. Invoice receipt transaction.
So in invoice receipt, what is the movement type? Like other
I'm telling you, no movement type. Movement type you will be able to see only when the material is moving.
Only
Whichever material it is.
Yeah, only at the time of GRN, right?
Yes, only coming at the time of GR, not at the invoice level.
Invoice level, there is nothing.
No movement type.
Okay, okay.
Okay, fine. So yeah. See, I have ordered the material, I got the material, and I got the invoice as well. Now, what next I have to do? Okay, stores person, once he's getting the material, he's sending the same material to the production department, whosoever is raising the requisition. Okay, so now production people are consuming this particular raw material in the production process. Production people, whosoever has sent the requisition for this particular material, are now consuming the raw material. So that's the reason why the next step is going to be the raw material consumption. Okay, next step is going to be the raw material consumption. Now, next step is raw material consumption. So, raw material, who is consuming the raw material? Obviously, the production department. Okay, so here, what is the posting? What has to be the posting? Raw material consumption, which is a P&L GL account, to inventory. That means the raw material inventory itself. So here again, you are coming across the movement of the material. Okay, you are coming across the movement of the material. Okay, now let us see what has to be the posting. Raw material consumption. Raw material consumption, it is called. So what is the entry? Raw material consumption debit, which is a P&L GL account here. Okay, it is a P&L GL account here. And what has to be credited? The asset account itself. What is asset account here? The raw material inventory asset account. Okay, so when the raw material inventory asset account is involved, that means what? There is a movement in the inventory. So here, that inventory is credited. Why? Because you are consuming that inventory. When you consume the inventory is credited. So what is that we are doing here? Raw material inventory is credited. See, this is raw material consumption, which is a P&L GL account. And this is raw material inventory, which is a balance sheet account. Okay. So now here, movement of the inventory is involved. That means again, movement type is coming into picture. Now, which movement type? Here you are consuming the raw material. That means the stores department is issuing the raw material to the production department, and it is being used. So now this issue is of two types. You can issue the material to a cost center so that the cost is captured in the cost center, or you can issue the material to the internal order. So cost center or internal order, whichever you want, you can select. Okay, mostly into cost centers it will be captured, which we will be using. Okay, so internal order also, for the same purpose only, for capturing of the cost. Okay, so I'm taking cost center 201. So 201 is the movement type, and what has to be the 201 should come here against the raw material. Okay, 201. Now what are the keys? This is inventory. So here GRIR, what is the key that we saw against inventory? BSX, same key, BSX. Okay, but the movement type is different. Transaction key is same because the same GL account has to be posted. Movement type is different. Okay. Based on the transaction, movement type differs. But here, raw material consumption. Here, for BSX, which is the inventory postings, you will have to take the offsetting entry for inventory postings. Offset, some entry is offsetting against the inventory postings. Now, what is that entry? Here you are consuming the goods. So, GBB should come. Okay, it is like heading and these are like subheadings. GBB should come. Now, under this, what is the relevant one? Consumption, raw material consumption. So, GBB, VBR. So, here, GBB, VBR. Got it, everyone? Okay, wherever movement type is involved, the material is moving, only then movement type is coming into picture, otherwise not. Okay, so posting, the GL accounts are getting posted from the transaction keys, account keys. So that's the reason why you need to remember both. You need to remember what are the transaction keys involved and also the movement types that are involved here.
Lavanya.
Yeah, please tell me louder, please.
So, Lavanya, you know, after the invoice is received, shouldn't there be one more stage of checking if the product is up to the expectations?
Quality check will be there. Okay, quality check will be there. Again, see, as I told you, the process might differ from company to company. After this also, quality check will be there.
Okay.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, that's fine, Lavanya. Yeah.
So, yeah, so raw material is consumed. Why raw material is consumed? In order to produce the finished goods. So, finished goods, we will be creating as a part of SD. Okay, customer, we are creating finished goods for customer. So, customer is SD module, sales and distribution. Okay, fine. So, for now, we are talking only about the raw material. Okay, the one which we are getting from the vendor. Okay, so nothing to discuss about the customer in MM. So that's the reason why no FG. That means no finished goods. FG means finished goods. RM means. Yeah, tell me.
I think you already started discussing about that invoice receipt which are not related to that raw material. For example, if we are rendering any kind of services from the vendor, then there would not be any material movement.
No. Can you tell me that once again?
What I am asking that you already started discussing that point, but I think in between you are maybe not because of that call. I think invoice receipt we discussed, now we discussed about that raw material related or whatever the material which we are receiving from the supplier.
Okay.
There is one more scenario that where we can normally some companies for they will render the services. For example, there will be only a service. There would not be any raw material.
Yeah, see, as I told you, here in our syllabus, we are discussing from manufacturing concern perspective. Okay. We are not discussing.
But even in a manufacturing also, there would be a services, right?
Huh?
Even in a manufacturing, suppose if somebody is supplying in a material, in that material there may be some kind of services also can include, right? I'm not because I am also not in detail work in a manufacturing side.
See, services, if you see, job work is a service.
Correct.
Okay. How to include job work, I can tell you, but that scenario we are not executing. It is called subcontracting.
Not only subcontracting, suppose if they are supplying any kind of material where they have to do some kind of any kind of assume that they have to install that particular material which we are purchasing. So whatever the installation, that will be in a kind of a services. How we will take it? Are you getting what I am asking?
Yeah.
Suppose if the company ordered some manufacturing some kind of machinery.
Okay.
So we are getting that we are either maybe we will consider as a capital item or whatever it is. So at that point of time also that there is some insulation which that vendor will provide the insulation, but that accounting entry will be different.
Different one.
Yeah. So that you can check it or you can continue with that normal session and then maybe we can.
Okay, I will try to find out. I mean to say, if there is any service to be provided in the middle, how you're handling it. Okay. So that service, I'm definitely telling you as a part of product costing. So here, subcontracting is there. Okay.
This is not about the subcontracting. That as I said, one of the scenario that you can check it and you can discuss in later.
I will let you know, or otherwise, if I find any material, I can share.
Yeah, you can just note down in a slide that if you don't mind.
Service. Okay, so for services provided apart from this, okay. Okay, fine. I will let you know about this.
Fine.
So raw material is being consumed by the production department, and this would be the accounting entry wherein the movement type is also involved. Okay, next. So this is what this is flow. Okay, nothing but procure to pay. Procure to pay means right from the beginning of procurement till the payment. From procurement till the payment. So where is the payment? Payment means we are making the payment to the vendor. So payment transaction. We have already discussed how we can make the payment, right? It could be manual payment or automatic payment from F110, the same. Okay, whatever we discussed in AP module. Manual payment or automatic payment, or whichever way you are doing the payment. So procure to pay means what? Right from the procurement till the payment time. So payment should also be discussed as a part of procure to pay. Okay, but payment we have already discussed. So till here we will be discussing. Okay, from the purchase order till raw material consumption. Okay, so this is about procure to pay cycle or purchase to pay or flow. Okay. Now, SD cycle is also there, which is called O2C cycle.
Lavanya, one more thing before moving to that SD cycle. See, there are two type of maybe that payment we considered. One is the direct payment without any kind of GRN. And if we consider that material module, there is always there would be a GRN or without GRN also in case of a service. Then the transactions are different, transaction codes or the process are different from that finance payment.
See, invoices you have to have open item. Open item is nothing but the invoice only.
Correct.
Okay. So invoices should be there for making the payment. What it has to do with GRN?
Now, see, normally that always we refer that GRN while making that payment to while making the vendor payment. So one is that in our finance side, what we considered that direct kind of see we taken it and then we made a payment. Is it mandate? Is the same transaction or the same flow which will flow in this scenario, my scenario? Same flow that I am just asking.
No, same transaction means for what?
for what you're saying? For making the payment, that vendor payment.
Making the payment is every time it's the same. It is either
Same.
manual or automatic. If it is automatic F1
No, I'm not talking about the manual or automatic. I'm talking about that direct payment or based on that GRN kind of payment. Both are same, right?
No, both will see. You have to have an open item. That's it.
Okay, okay.
Okay. And GRN has nothing to do here.
Mhm. Otherwise, whenever we are okay, okay. No, that we'll discuss.
Tell me.
I think the only other scenario, Jayakumar, where that kind of thing can happen is in the down payment or advance payment scenario, where you might have to pay something out to the vendor. But I think incoming.
But in that case, there is no invoice.
Correct, correct. So
No invoice means no GR, nothing else.
What normally we do in our finance module, as we discussed as of now, there is a vendor invoice and there is a vendor payment, correct? Whatever we have already done in our finance module. So when we are getting into that module, there would be a, first there would be a GRN, then vendor invoice, then there is a vendor payment. So I am asking that is there any different in this kind of payment where we are consider that module? Are you getting what I am asking? Because normal scenario, we need to refer that GRN details while vendor invoice registration we are doing, that is nothing but an invoice receipt. And after that, while making the payment, other than the normal, whatever we learned in our finance module, you are saying that there is no difference in that scenario, right? In this scenario.
No, in the first place, actually for making the payment, nothing, we have to do with GR.
Okay.
You have to have one open item. That's it.
I'm only that that is not yeah, correct. Vendor invoice we are only referring at the time of payment, we are not referring the GRN. But I am just asking, is there any difference in that transaction code, T code, what we are using in our
No.
Okay.
No, see, transaction code means for making the payment, that is the only one we are using. That's
the
it.
same thing which we are using, whatever we have considered in our finance module, right?
AP module, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Payment is that only. It is the
this
payment medium workbench.
Okay.
I think this process, what we are talking is the pre-process before getting an invoice actually. So the integration from into FI, once the invoice is received, from then on, all the things what we learned previously holds true.
If invoice is there, yes.
Yeah.
If invoice is not there, then down payment.
Correct.
Yeah, Lavanya, you can go ahead.
Okay. So in SD integration as well, we will be seeing the flow, which is called the SD flow, and it is called O to C cycle. Okay, there we see O to C cycle. Here it is P to P cycle. And O to C cycle is opposite to P to P cycle. So here we are buying, there we will be selling. Okay. Now, let us see the O to C cycle as well. O to C means order to cash cycle, which is also called SD flow.
So this will lead us to account receivable, isn't it, Lavanya?
Yeah. Yes. SD.
SD, yeah.
SD. This is SD.
Yeah.
That means related to sales. For us, it is AR. Okay. For sales and distribution, it is SD.
Yeah.
So here again, the entire cycle is different. I mean, it is reversed. So here, because we will be getting from the customer, what is that we are getting? We will be getting the order from the customer. So that means the cycle starts from here. from here. So in ST cycle, what is that? We are getting an order that is called a sales order. Sales order. VA01 is a transaction code. Sales order, VA01 is a transaction code. No accounting entry here. Okay. So based on the sales order again, okay, we are having two options. First, we can send the material first and then the invoice later to them. Or we can send the invoice first and material later to them. But thing is that, where is the finished goods? How is that I'm sending the finished goods when finished goods itself is not there? Finished goods you are creating once this process is completed. Okay, you're producing the finished goods once this raw material consumption is done. Okay, and then the finished goods are produced. Okay, so after this one only you can have the finished goods. So now, once the production process is completed, you are doing one transaction which is called production receipt against PO or without PO. Okay, so production receipt you will have to do. So what is this production receipt? Here you are booking the finished goods. Okay, so here we will be saying finished goods inventory, which is an asset account as debit. Asset is coming in. You are getting the finished goods into your stores from production department. Okay, so finished goods inventory to cost of goods manufactured. This will be credited. Okay, so production receipt you are doing. So against this, now you will be getting the finished goods into your store's location. So here movement is there on the inventory. So that's the reason why you will be coming across the movement type. Okay, movement type here. So now let us see the 521. So let us see what is 521. Material receipt without purchase order. Okay, so here, see, with or without purchase order, how you will be knowing? Normally, make to stock, make to order scenarios are there. Okay, make to stock means, see, I have to keep stock. Okay, because mine is a manufacturing company. Whether I'm getting the orders or not, some stock anyways I will have to maintain. That is make to stock. Otherwise, some customized order I'm getting which is specific only to that customer. Okay, so in that case it is make to order. So make to stock it is 521, wherein you are receiving the finished goods material without production order. So that's the reason why we are taking 521. So that means I'm following make to stock. This is not specific to some order. All right, fine. So I already have some stock here. Okay, from this I got the material. Now what is the account keys here? Let us see. Finished goods inventory, because the movement in the goods is involved. Inventory postings, this is definitely BSX, inventory postings. Okay. And this one, increase or decrease in the stock of finished goods. COGM you can take, otherwise in some companies you follow increase or decrease in stock of finished goods. This GL you are following either COGM or increase or decrease in the stock of finished goods. So for this GL account, the entries, the keys GBB AUF. Okay, or ZOF, AUF or ZOF. Production receipt against purchase order. ZF production receipt without purchase order. Okay, purchase order means the production order. Okay. Now So next is you have the finished goods in your stock. So you will have to send this finished goods to customer, no, because I got this sales order. So sending of the finished goods to customer, there is no invoice now. Okay, for production receipt, let me give the transaction code MB1C here. Raw material consumption MB1A. MB1A. So I'm sending the finished goods to customer, which is called delivery of the finished goods to customer. VL01 and is the transaction code. So when I'm sending the finished goods to customer, I have an option to do post goods issue, PGI, post goods issue. Now, whenever I do PGI, it means that I'm transferring the ownership of the finished goods as well. So when you do PGI, one FI document is also generated along with the MM document. So when you do VL01 and one MM document will get generated. But whether the FI document is also getting generated or not, that depends if you are doing PGI. If PGI is done, FI document also gets generated. If you're not doing PGI, only MM document gets generated. Now accounting entry. Accounting entry will be the reversal of this one. Okay. You are sending the finished goods. Okay. So increase or decrease in stock of finished goods debit, or what debit you're taking? COGS. Is GL account or COGS GL account? So this account is debited and what is credited? The inventory is going out. Okay, finished goods inventory is going out. So it is credited. So again, movement of the goods is involved. Okay, so what is the movement type here? 601. Delivery of the finished goods to customer. Account key BSX, increase or decrease in the stock of finished goods. This one, GBB, and here it is VAX or VAY. What is VAX, VAY? Delivery. Okay. Now this, delivery means you are sending just the material. How about the invoice? Next is billing. Okay, wherein you will be posting to customer. So billing transaction code is VF01. The transaction code is customer account debit to sales account credit. Sales is coming from the account key called ERL. So no inventory involved, no movement type. Customer is not coming from any account key, it is coming from the sales order. Okay, and then this is order to cash, from the sales order to till the time you realize the cash. So where is that realization of the cash? When payment receipt is done. So payment receipt we have already seen in AR module. Manual payment receipt, automatic payment receipt, the same. Okay, so these are the steps involved in the O2C cycle, order to cash cycle, SD flow. Okay, so these two flows are very, very important.
Lavanya, what
including
is sales ERL? What it represents ERL?
Yeah, tell me, Jaykumar.
What it represents ERL?
ERL is an account key.
Okay. Okay.
It is an account key. Just like all these BSX. Okay, these.
Okay.
ERL is an account key. Okay. So what I'll do is Yeah, one more thing is also there. In integration, we will be creating the master data of the material. Okay, yeah, the raw material or finished goods, semi-finished goods, whatever it is, we will be creating the material master. Okay, but in real time, material master is very much created by person only. Here we are creating by ourselves. So in order to create the material, any master data, if you see GL, AP, AR, before we created the master data, we created the account group. Okay. So in integration, you will be having the material types which are acting as the account group for material master generation. Material types are similar to account groups in FI. So master is created under material type. That means material master. Material master is created under this material type. Now, any material master, if you see, is created at plant level. Normally, you have the concept of valuation area. Valuation area. As a valuation area, you can have plant or company code. You can have a plant or company code as the valuation area. When do you have plant as the valuation area and when do you have company code as the valuation area? 99% it is plant only, at plant level only. We will be doing the valuation of the material. That's valuation of the material means wherever you do the valuation of the material, that is called the valuation area. So valuation area, it is mostly plant. Now when plant, when company code, if the prices of the material is not the same, then the prices of the material are varying. Okay, so in that case you will be having the plant as the valuation area. If not, if the prices of the material are the same across all the plants, then you will be taking company code as the valuation area. So valuation area means what? The place where the valuation of the material is done. Okay, now in OB52 so far, if you see, we have done opening or closing of the posting periods. Even in MM also you will be having where you will be opening the periods. MMPV is the transaction code. So these periods are different from FI periods. OB52 is different from MMPV. Here we open and close the periods. There we open and close only FI periods. Okay. And
Lavanya, what about the supplier return and the invoice return?
we have already created vendor master data, right, in AP. That only we are using.
Okay, no, I'm asking this. There is also the similar way what we discussed, that some of the movement and some the key which we are using. In the case of a supplier return and a sales return, how it would be?
No, supplier vendor means we are extending the same vendor at the purchasing organization level.
I'm talking about the return. When suppose if the supplier see whatever the material we purchased, if we return to the supplier, similar way the customer whatever the item purchased by the customer, then if they are returning that material, what could be that transaction what we discussed, the flow?
No, I'm not getting your scenario at all.
I'm talking about that supplier return and sales return, how we are considering the similar way what we discussed now. There are some movement, right?
Movement types.
Yeah, then there are some code also involved. Posting key is also involved, because that also will be a part of that SD.
No, we will be seeing, no, when we make postings, we will be seeing, no.
Okay.
Okay, we have not done the configuration yet.
Okay.
So once we are seeing the postings, we will come to know like how,
Okay.
you know, the vendor are being selected and all. Okay. So, so far, like, I'm trying to insert one scenario here. See, I'm buying from my vendor. Vendor is sending the goods from to a different vendor uh, who is delivering the goods to us. That means the delivering person is a different from the vendor. Okay, so I'm trying to insert. I do not know if I'm able to execute that scenario successfully, then I will be covering, which is not part of the syllabus. Okay, I'm trying to insert from this batch. So I will be seeing whether, you know.
So you mean to say that some third party or some
Yeah, third party vendor for delivering of the goods.
Okay. Third party channel partner, some kind of thing.
Exactly. Okay. So I would want to stop here. Today we discuss the cycles, just the cycles and some fundamental concepts that we are coming across in integration. Okay. So next session we are discussing all the configuration and we will be discussing the postings as well. Okay. Postings means, you know, whatever we have seen in the cycle, all these. Okay. Yes, any question, anyone? Any question, anything that you did not understand?
Lavanya Jaykumar here.
Tell me.
I think our supporting is not uploaded yesterday's session. I think so.
I will check with them. I
No
have
problem.
told
No
them.
problem. Just I'm just reminding. Nothing else.
I will surely tell them.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So this is for today, everyone. So next session, we are going to discuss the configuration part of integration. Okay.
Hello, hi Lavanya.
Tell me.
It's Mohammed here from support team Zamco.
Yeah, Imran, please tell me.
Yeah, like just I need a 5 minutes of time with the students,
Yeah,
to
sure.
explain about the LMS and everything. Shall I take it over?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Mohammed. I'm from a support team. Just I need your 5 minutes of time, to explain you regarding that discussion board, that assignment tab and the ticketing system and everything. Okay. Just give me a minute. Let me share my screen then.
Okay, I'm stopping screen sharing. Yes, I stopped. Imran, I stopped.
Yeah, can you just confirm if you will be see my screen?
Yeah, we are able to see that your screen.
Yeah, thank you, Jai Kumar. Thanks for confirmation. So just I wanted to, just give a brief, explanation regarding the discussion board. Might be like a few of the other, trainees are facing, facing to update the discussion board with their queries and the difficulties, what they are facing. And once the trainer respond to their queries, like so few of the participants are not able to get a notification from them. So just we came up to explain you how you can post your queries or your issues in a discussion board, and how you can get a notification once the response is being given. Okay, so in a discussion board, once you go there, like you have a tab called a new post. If you just click on that, it will redirect you to the other tab. Here you see that like here in a subject, you can give a subject name for the query you have or the issue you are facing with. For example, just I give a test now. In the same way, you can give a detailed description in this box, like stating with your problem issues, what are the queries you have with the trainer, like regarding the subject and everything, like what are the queries you have. You can give a detailed description over here. Example, like just in the same way you can describe all the things, and then you can, if you have any attachment, a screenshot, if you want to add to that particular query, you can go ahead and just click on add file. Then it will redirect you to your local drive where you can attach those files or images, or any kind of files you can, if you want to attach, can do it, and you can just upload, and then you can click on save, so that your post will be published in a discussion board, so that everyone can see your as you see that, like I just now have made a post with test, and everyone able to see that. Like once the post has been made, if you want to get a notification for each time whenever the post or the solution has been given, just go to settings tab. Here you can see there is a tab called subscribe to page changes. When you click on this tab, you can see you will be get notified when this page is changed. This means that, like, whenever the post has been made in a discussion board, you will be getting a notification through your email. In the same way, once the post has been made, if the trainer wants to provide any solution for that, the trainer will go ahead in the query itself. In a below, you can see a comment section.
Muhammad, your voice is breaking. We are not getting a voice in between.
1 second, let me check my
Okay,
side.
okay.
Yeah. So in a here in a comment section, the trainer will be providing a solution with for the query you have raised for. So when the comment has been made, you will be get notification as well. So you have to, in a setting itself, you have to go for subscribe for site changes. Once you click on this, you will be get notification once is the once the solution has been given to your post, or any other solution given to any other post as well. In the same way, you can go ahead and do it for assignments and case studies tab as well. Once the trainer provides any assignments in the assignments tab, once you have completed your assignments, here you can post the same as well, like by clicking new post. in a same way like just giving a subject line and a detailed description about the assignments that you have completed. And just if you want to attach a file that assignments to it, just click on that add file. See, in the same way it will redirect you to our local drive where you can attach the assignments here, and then you can click on save. In the same way, like once the assignment, the trainer has provided any assignments, or if the trainer has go through all your assignments and provided a feedback to our assignments, to get a notification in the same way you have to go to settings, click on subscribe to page changes, so that you will be get notification through email once the assignment has been posted by any students or trainer, or if the trainer has given a feedback to your uh, assignments. Like, so is there any question so far? So shall I go ahead?
Mohammed Jaikumar here.
Yeah, Jacob.
Whatever the points which you are discussing about whatever that interaction or the session which we are normally with that trainer, what about that issues with respect to that server and other kind of thing?
Server thing, like already we have informed you that you have to, once the server is provided, you have to go through and directly write a email to support@sapclouds.com.
But assume that if we are not getting any kind of that timely support, so that if you want to escalate the matter to your support team, how it would be?
No, in a same way, right? Like we ask you to mark a CC to server support team as well, so that they can follow up with them as well.
Then what is the use of, there is a separate like ticket option is there, right?
Yeah, like that is for technical issues like what you face in accessing the LMS, or if you want to any help with the support team regarding that materials, that videos uploaded, as you asked in the session itself, like to the trainer, like regarding that video upload.
Okay.
Right.
That we can.
Yeah, like if you face those kind of issues apart from the session, so you can directly without instead of reaching our sales coordinators,
Can you just
higher
tell to that
management.
that also, can you just explain to that other participant, maybe some of them may
Yeah,
not be aware?
I was I was about to do that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So next step, like what we have in a discuss, there is a session meeting links tab. Here we will update all the upcoming session links in a weekly basis. So even you can get a notification in the same way by doing a subscription to the page changes. Once the link and the topics names are updated here, you will be get a notification in the same way through email. Next step, the main thing, like we have like in the right side here you will find a tab called a ticketing system, ticket for technical support. Like whenever you have any queries, instead of if you are not able to post if technical stuffs in a discussion board, you can raise a ticket to the support team directly by clicking on this ticket link. It will redirect you to a third-party tool called Mojo Help Desk. Here you will find a ticketing system page. Like if you fill this information like first name, last name, email you have registered with, the ticketing type. As you see, like we have options for incident, problems, questions, or tasks. If you want to mark anything, and then a subject related to the query what you have, and the priority of the ticket, like it's an emergency ticket or urgent or normal or lower one, According to that, you can select an option here, and then you can give a detailed description, the issue what you are facing here. And if you want to attach any screenshot, you can directly attach a screenshot as well. Assume like if you are facing, accessing videos or materials, anything, just take a screenshot of that, mark it, and just paste it over here, so that it will be easy for us, to go through the error, and get back to you regarding that. And a basic information like the who is the trainer, and the batch like you are going with, and the course name, and the model, like is it an ILLT mode of training or ILVT mode of training, and the basic one like the operating system what you are using, like is it a Mac or a Windows one or a laptop, say, just update that, so that we will get a brief idea like what the system you are using, so that accordingly we can help you with that. And just after filling all those details, just click on create ticket. Once you click on that, a ticket will be generated here to our support team. They will get a notification, and they will get back to your with the solution as soon as possible. Fine. So like, do we have any questions further, or you can ask? Jai Kumar, Narendra, Sujata.
Mohammed Jaikumar here.
Yeah, Jai Kumar.
This ticketing system only we can use that other than our day-to-day session. For example, the video is not uploaded, or maybe that some other issues not related to that our day-to-day session, right?
No, you
For
can
example,
post it.
yeah, anything related to that our course. See, for example, maybe that maybe Lavanya may be busy with some other thing or whatever it is. So I am not sure that any other team is available for supporting our that session. Suppose if we are practicing, we are facing some issue other than Lavanya, that our support team will help us. No.
No, Jai Kumar, I don't think so, because like
No,
we are
I'm
not
just
aware.
asking. I'm just asking
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get the clarity. So I
Yeah,
am not
because
normally I'm not posting such kind of thing. I'm only posting in our discussion board
yes,
just
yes.
to want to get a clarity. That's why.
Yeah, because like we are not about aware of
Yeah, not an issue.
subject.
Not an
Yeah,
issue.
right.
Not an issue.
So
Okay.
no, if you raise a ticket regarding that, we can escalate those
Yeah,
issues
then
with
you
the
will
trainer.
you
Maybe
will
like the
forward to
trainer
the
is
trainer.
busy.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Like once only like what I suggest you first, just post it on a discussion board,
Yeah, normally
because
I do the same way.
yeah, because like one what the issue what you are facing, if you post it on a discussion board, might be the other students will will be aware of that issue, and they will get a solution for that as well.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. Yeah.
Yes, like once if the trainer is busy with her personal work, so if the trainer is not replying to your queries, so in such cases you can raise a ticket, so that we can inform the trainer to reply to your queries as well. In a rare case, just
Okay.
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 Apart from that, like if you have any questions, you can go ahead. I see that like no one has any questions. So like in a future as well, like if you have any questions or queries, just feel free to post it in a discussion board, or raise a ticket for the same, so that we can help you with that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mohammed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome, Jai Kumar.
Yeah.
Welcome. Thank you, Lavanya. Thank you for your time. So we can stop that here. If you want to continue, you can just go ahead and continue that. Hello, Lavanya, you there?
You're done, Imran?
Yes, Lavanya, I'm done with the session. Like just explaining all the things.
Okay, fine.
So yeah,
Fine then. Thank you.
yeah. Thank you, Lavanya. Thank you for
Yeah. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Yeah, thank you and good night.
yeah.
Thank you.